The National Museum of Cambodia in Phnom Penh is the country's leading historical and archaeological museum and the country's largest museum of history. It was officially inaugurated by King Sisawat in 1920. The buildings of the museum are inspired by Khmer temple architecture. There are more than 14,000 items housed in the museum. It displays one of the world's largest collections of Khmer art, including sculpture, ceramics, bronzes, and ethnographic objects dating from prehistoric times to the period before, during, and after the Khmer Empire. The museum serves also a religious function. Its collection of important Buddhist and Hindu sculptures, including a post-Angkorian Buddha supported by UNESCO and a number of individuals and local businesses, opened in 2000 to extend the religious function of the museum. It is located on Street 13 in central Phnom Penh, to the north of the Royal Palace and on the west side of Ville Pré Men Square. The visitor's entrance to the compound is at the corner of Streets 13 and 178. The Royal University of Fine Arts is located on the west side of the museum. The museum is under the authority of the Cambodian Ministry of Culture and Fine Arts. History of the museum. George Groslierre, 1887 to 1945, historian, curator, and the author, was the motivating force behind much of the revival of interest in traditional Cambodian arts and crafts, and it was he who designed this building that is today traditional Khmer architecture. It is perhaps better described as a building enlarged from Cambodian temple prototypes seen on ancient bas-reliefs and reinterpreted through colonial eyes to meet the museum size requirements. Groslierre's intended museum was soon associated with the École des Arts Cambodgiennes in 1917 and became known as the Musée du Cambodge, in Khmer, Sarak Manti Krong Kampuchea Tipatai, in 1919. Later, in 1920, in honor of French General Governor of Indochina, Monsieur Albert Sarraut, this museum was officially renamed Musée Albert Sarraut. The foundation stone for the new museum was laid on 15th of August, 1917. Some 2.5 years later, the completed museum was inaugurated during Khmer New Year on April 13, 1920, in the presence of His Majesty King Sisawat, François Marius Baudouin, Résident Supérieur, and Monsieur Groslierre, Director of Cambodian Arts and conservator of the museum. The original design of the building was slightly altered in 1924, with extensions that added wings at either end of the eastern facade that made the building even more imposing. Early directors of the museum, from the 1920s to 1940s, contributed greatly to the knowledge of the rapidly expanding collection. Groslierre himself catalogued the collection, and followed by Jean Boisselier, Pierre Dupont, and Solange Thierry Bernard, interim director, who added their individual talents to the cataloging and management of the museum. Control of the National Museum and Arts Administration was ceded by the French to the Cambodians on 9th of August 1951, and following independence in 1953, the then Musée National de Phnom Penh was the subject of the bilateral accords, November 7, 1956. From 1956 to 1966, the museum continued to flourish under the direction of Madeleine Giteau, conservatrice du Musée National. In 1966, the first Cambodian director of the museum, named Chea Thai Seng, and the dean of the newly created Department of Archaeology at the Royal University of Fine Arts. This university, which from its foundation as the École des Arts Cambodgiennes in Khmer, Salah Rachana, in 1920, can still be found at the rear of the museum. Chea Thai Seng directed the museum until